to be with a very, very special lady. And she's a very, very talented artist. And no introduction is necessary other than to say, Thereza Bazar, welcome to Bobster's Pod Blast. How are you doing, my darling?
Hello, my darling. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me. I'm very excited actually because you have the best accent. It's just,
Oh.
give me a Scottish accent, and I'm swooning. That's it.
Honestly, I am just so thrilled to have you on here. As you know, even speaking before the recording and stuff, it's just so great to have you on because, you just bring back a lot of memories, especially with some of the tunes and stuff, and like Ulamar and Mirror Mirror and all those tunes. It's just like, as I say to just like watching them on YouTube and they just bring back memories from years ago, especially when my mum and dad were here and so forth. But honestly, it's like I didn't actually realize, right, that you were actually Canadian.
Yeah, I was born in Canada. My parents lived in Cheltenham in Gloucestershire, and I am a Cheltenham girl.
Mm-hmm.
But my father had some family in Canada, so
Yeah.
my mum and dad, quite sort of entrepreneurial. Really, they thought they'd move across, the Atlantic and go and see what life was like in Canada. And
Mm-hmm.
they were there for about 5 years, and I had an older sister. And
Mm-hmm.
I was born there, but after 6 months after I was born, it was just probably too cold.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very. My mother's still alive. Actually, she's going to be 97 in
Wow.
about 3 weeks. Longevity
Wow.
in my family, but my dad's no longer with me. But they're quite English, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of they missed
Mm-hmm.
those sensibilities. So we came back. So I was born in Canada, in Toronto. We came back and we settled in Cheltenham, in Gloucestershire.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Actually, one of my mates actually lives in Cheltenham, and
Yeah, you'll have to
he's
get me in touch with him because
yeah.
I'm a Cheltenham girl at heart.
Yeah, well, he's actually a graphic designer, and and Mike is he's been down there for a while now. I mean, he's one of these guys. It's a Scotsman but has an English accent as well. So, but he's a graphic designer, and he's just a great guy. But him and Wendy, the nice couple, they've been down there for years, and they've got a nice family and stuff. But the thing is, it's like, I mean, obviously, when you were born in Canada, what was life like growing up for you and being so young?
In Cheltenham.
Mm-hmm.
Well, short story. Very sort of kind of a strict upbringing. But
Mm-hmm.
my sister, who's 5 years older, she went to ballet classes, and my mum took us, and I was 2.5 at the time, and so it took us in there, and they started this little ballet class, and I refused to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really quite a compliant little girl. I was very polite. But I just quietly was defiant and said, I'm not going.
Mm-hmm.
And the dancing teacher was so lovely. And she came over to my mum. She was reading what was going on. And she said, well, look, if she stands at the back and she can follow, but she doesn't make a sound, she can stay. So I was up the back at all of 2.5. I copied everything. And that was it. She allowed me to go every week. So that was when I fell in love with ballet at 2.5 years old. And it was the passion of my life until I realized at the age of, I was hook, line, and sinker, wanted to be a ballet dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And realized by the time I was about 13, I was really technically good, but
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the right body shape. And yeah, and I had some friends who were very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of thought, I don't know. So I suddenly thought, if I can't be a ballet dancer, I'll sing and dance, next best thing.
But that was other question as well. So, I mean, when did you actually realize that you could sing? I mean, were you just singing in the bath or the shower, or were you just singing outside and in the garden or something, just thinking, I'm a good singer. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
never thought I was a singer at all.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it was really by default. But my dad was a semi-professional jazz guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
So we always had music in the house, but it was Frank and Ella, it was Joe Pass and Django Reinhardt
Mm-hmm.
and Dave Brubeck, all that kind of fusion jazz. It was pretty eclectic. And I was
Mm-hmm.
very interested in music, but I was mostly listening to Chopin, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven. they were my fixes. But then I discovered the Carpenters. I think I actually had a job, working in a supermarket when I was about 14, and they had this like sort of radio going, and it was the Carpenters. And I started listening to the harmonies, and it's kind of when I suddenly thought, oh, so I started practicing. And that's when I really thought, oh, I've got a voice. I did singing and dancing, as a kid in dance competitions, but I never really thought myself as a singer. But it was always because I couldn't be a ballet dancer. I thought, well, I'll be like Judy Garland. I'll sing and dance, next best.
Fantastic.
Funny, isn't it? Life is strange.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, when you realised that you could sing in it, did you go into groups like where, like where you kind of met people who maybe someone had a band, or someone maybe just wanted to experiment just by like a pretend band and start singing, writing material, or doing a cover of anything, or?
Oh, I love that idea. No, unfortunately, I was so conservative and so really naive that I didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
I did get myself a scholarship to a performing arts school. And whilst I was there, it was like because I was meant to be studying my A levels at the same time, which I sort of did, but then I didn't. And I went for an audition for an equity card because, it's chicken and egg. You've got to have an equity card to be in the union to get a job. You can't get a job until you've got an equity card. So the stage school, performing arts school I was at, they said, well, there are these auditions for dwarfs, for a pantomime for Snow White. And I thought, they need small people, wear a costume, don't have to do anything, just dance about. And I thought, I could do that. So I went for this audition, and very sweet. I auditioned all day, had to sing and dance and speak. And I was there for about 5 hours. And there's me sitting in this drafty corridor. It's getting dark now. I'm thinking, I've auditioned 3 times for a non-speaking part. This is a very hard business. I was very young. And they got me back in, and they said, could you just do your song and dance again? And I went, yes, of course. And they brought me over to this, just a trestle table with 3 people sitting behind it, you can imagine, in an old sort of school building. And they said, well, we haven't cast the part of Snow White yet. Would you like to be Snow White? And they went, oh, yes, please. And so my first job was the principal role in Snow White. And from then I answered an audition for another singing, dancing combo thing, I thought it was. And it was for a pop group, which was Guys and Dolls.
Fantastic. And it's like, obviously Guys and Dolls, that was like, was it not late 70s? That was late 70s?
So we auditioned in 1974. Yeah. Such a long time ago. I feel like I'm I'm just getting my energy back. I'm an unstoppable machine now. It's just very weird. But 1974.
Fantastic though. God, you've honestly, and I'm not just saying this, you've not aged. You've not aged.
Well, obviously,
seriously.
Some people, not that much, but it's all about your energy and about what you see and what you envisage. And back in that day, I was as I said, the most naive. I didn't have any friends that listened to pop music. I didn't know anything. And I went off to a pop audition, and they said, you've got to sing a song and speak something. I sang Somewhere from West Side Story. My piece of prose was Shakespeare, Puck from Shakespeare. And I wore my mother's raincoat and a black polo neck jumper and a long A-line skirt. That wasn't poppy, sexy, pretty, flirty, nothing. I was the most, I have no idea. Maybe they thought she's putty in our hands. I was like a child. I was 12.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's like going from Snow White to an actual group, that's crazy. It just shows you just how roads can open, doors can open for people like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and funny enough, the night that we were asked to go meet each other, I was meant to have my tonsils out. Because I'd been having these throat problems, and like an ENT said, well, I think she needs to have her tonsils out. So my mum and dad said, yes, probably. And that's that, you couldn't make it up. It's like, you know, fact is better than fiction. And it was the same night. And I said to my mum, and I said, well, I'm going to sign a contract for a pop group. I can't go to the hospital. And and when I was there, I actually remember Dominic Grant, bless his heart, so sorely missed. I love him and miss him. He actually said when I got to this dinner, when we was signing the contract, he went quite, said, what's she doing here? I mean, seriously, I was like a duck out of water. I had no idea what I was getting into.
That's
look
cool.
what happened.
Oh, absolutely. Well, look at you. It's like, well, you're famous. You're a famous person now, and that's just.
How did that happen? I don't know. I don't know. I've got no idea. You tell me.
I mean, do you get stopped in the street by people asking you for autographs and?
Not here, but when I went back to the UK last year after COVID, I did get recognised, which by actually a lovely lady in Marks and Spencer's in Victoria. And I had a photo with her, and she said, I know who you are. I said, you tell me who I am. You know, because I love banter. And she said, you're that lady from Don. I went, you're right. And I said, should we have a photo? A selfie? It was so nice, you know, because it's kind of just validating people's memories, because it's taking us back, nostalgia and all that stuff. And the music, of course. It's all about the music and the memory.
And you know what? I mean, you get people that actually have an eye for people, you know, famous people, you know, and like if they're walking in the street and they're like, oh, there's such and such, or there's such and such. I remember I went to visit this lady who was a friend of my late mum, and she had like an embroidery shop. And then I went in to see her, and you know, she was a lovely, like Ella, her name was. She was a lovely woman who had the shop just full of like, you know, everything to knit with and stuff. So I was chatting away to her, and I remember just looking at this other lady, just looking at stuff, you know, like looking at balls of wool and all that type of materials and stuff. And I thought to myself, I know that woman. And I'm looking at, it was Lisa Goddard, the actress. And then I says, excuse me, you Lisa Goddard? She's like, yeah. And then her hair was all up. I says, can I have my photo taken with me? She, yeah. So she had her hair down, and then I went and got my photo taken with her, which was absolutely crazy, you know. Yeah. But it just shows you some people just probably didn't recognize her, you know, and it was just absolutely mental, you know. But yeah, but anyway, going back to you singing when you were in Dollar, I mean, you've had all those fantastic hits. And then it's like you look at songs like Mirror Mirror, and was it L'amour as well, which was massive. I mean, you guys done the original. It was you did the original for that, didn't you?
With L'amour? No, so L'amour was Erasure. So Vince Clarke is one of he's a god basically for me. His songs, and so it was an accident. I found I actually went into HMV on Oxford Street. I was driving out of London, and I'd heard some Erasure songs on the radio. I thought, have to buy their album, listen to it on a CD in the car. So I ran in, I was really quick, and I ran out, and I was going out to the Cotswolds actually, and I put the CD on, and I thought, where's that record that I was hoping to listen to that I'd heard on the radio? And of course I picked up the wrong album. It was their first one. But I was listening to it, and on that, see the best mistakes, on that first CD was their version of Oh L'Amour. And that's I thought, crazy. I've never heard that. You know, why? And it immediately said to me, it sounds like a great idea for Dollar, you know, and that's sort of what happened. Again, a lucky accident, you know, that's me.
Because I kind of thought to myself, actually, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought you guys had it out before Erasure.
No, they had it out before us. And I was a bit nervous because of the Yazoo days, you know, and all of that. Just so respectful. I was very nervous that I wouldn't be able to do a good job. And I was really happy. It was like kind of an idea, and I kind of flushed it out, and I love it. Actually, I mean, I love their version too, but I love our version.
Oh,
And
I love your version. I absolutely think it's cracking. It's a cracking version. Honestly, it's amazing. An amazing version. But I actually, for some reason, thought you had it. Honestly, sometimes I have brain fog, you know.
it's
But
okay, but it's Vince Clark. I mean, he's just a genius, you know. I
yeah.
mean, and of course Andy Bell's voice. I mean,
Mhm.
they are. I couldn't tell you how high they are in my musical world. I mean, they're right up there.
You know
And
what?
yeah, they're right
Erasure,
up
Erasure are absolutely fantastic. And you know, and it's like, you know what? I mean, I love a lot of their tunes, like sometimes, and you know, but Savannah song is fantastic.
is that your favorite?
Oh, it's one of my favorites. I just think it's just a fantastic
Yeah.
tune. I like it's just really catchy and stuff, you know.
And I love respect. You know, every time
Oh,
I'm a bit down or something's bothering me or I need an immediate lift, I put it on really loud and I
mhm.
dance around the kitchen. Seriously, I dance around the kitchen and it just gives me this incredible energy boost. It's kind
Mhm.
of like taking up a rocker, basically. You know, it's kind of like I suddenly go, bang, I'm back. You know, it's just so if music can do that for somebody,
Mhm.
you know, whoever, whatever it is, isn't
Mhm.
that a wonderful gift? You
It
know,
is. It is
it's
absolutely.
always there. It's consistent. It's really nice.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, I mean, to have the actual gift of being fantastic songwriters as well as, you know, performing artists, you know, it's like with great vocals and stuff. It's, you know, it must be fantastic. You know, you get some people that get the right arm to be a decent, really good singer, you know. But you know, you to me, I think we're like born with it, you know, like you were born with it, you know, you a good singer yourself, you know, and you know, it's just lovely listening to you singing and stuff, you know, and
Oh, you know, darling, it's lovely of you to say that. But I actually also do believe that there is so, which is why we have these reality shows, and don't even
mhm,
get me started with that, you know,
yeah,
Britain's Got Talent and stuff,
mhm,
X Factor, etc. But there's so many talented people
mhm,
with so many strengths, but
yeah,
it's a lot of just luck
mhm,
and a lot of other things in your personality and
yeah,
timing in life. And also, you know, I don't think I've got a great voice. I actually really don't. I
mm,
think I've got a different sounding voice. And I just happen to come into touch with fantastic record producers
mhm,
who understood how to make my voice sound different. So that was Chris Neal with the early dollar records, and then the great Trevor Horn, you know, with his understanding of my strengths and
mhm,
creating the wall of sound, which is me, and a lot of air and breath and but ethereal. But
mhm.
that was just luck. Otherwise, someone could have got, she's got a tiny, breathy voice, and oh, don't really think so. She can't belt out a song. And you see, so it is a lot of luck, I think, in life.
Mhm.
Hard work, perspiration, and luck. That's what I say.
But you know, it's like it's true though. It's true. I mean, you get some people that are really fantastic, talented people that don't seem to get that much luck, you know, and then end up, you know, missing the well, end up missing a chance and stuff. You know, it's a shame, you know, but just what can you do, eh? But the thing
I
is,
agree, and that's why I'm always very humble. You know, it's
yeah,
not this big talent trying to get out. It's just wanting to connect, and sometimes you just, yeah, it's just
mhm,
timing of life, and life
yeah,
has twists and
yeah.
turns.
I was going to say, Theresa, you're doing a tour, aren't you?
I am
You
crazy,
could tell me about
crazy.
that.
I know, coming back to the UK,
Mhm,
and after so long, and whole long story about started writing a book during
mhm,
COVID, and someone asked me, and I said yes. And then part of that was um, all the stuff that happened and the stories and everything. And then
mhm,
it got towards, well, what's the end of the book? You know, which is like current day, and it got to me thinking about ageism and about
mhm,
getting older and
yeah,
about the decisions you've made, the experiences you've lived, and all of
mhm,
that. Um, and then I kind of thought, you know, well, and then got a really good interested publisher who was
mhm,
saying, we think it's a fantastic read, but her social media
mhm,
won't substantiate that, you know. And I'm going, okay, so what do I do? Either not get involved, which I haven't been, or get involved. And so I thought, I'm
mhm.
going to get involved. So since January the 1st, it was my New Year's resolution, I've been working on my social media. And then I thought, well, if I'm talking about all this stuff, I've got to walk the walk, haven't I? Because you can't talk about it and not do it, because I'm very much like that. So I suddenly thought, I need to do a tour, get back out there, meet the really loyal fans, make new friends and new fans, and share the nostalgia and the music. And I've actually I haven't been this positive and this focused for a long time. And we're almost running out of time, but I'm going to send Al a message, Alex, to ask him to send another
Absolutely. And the thing is as well, Theresa, don't worry about this, because I'll be able to edit this. I'm going to be editing it as well.
Sure.
So
and that's how it all started. So it is organic in the fact that I'm authentic. You know, I'm 68 years old. You know, we can talk about this, but I'm 68 years old.
Really?
And why am I doing it? I'm 68. I'm thinking, because I want to. And you get to a point in time that no one can tell me that I'm not able to do it. And if I fall on my face, it's my choice, but I'm happy to do that. But it's an incredible experience. And it's almost like in real time now, getting back, working with a live band, albeit on the other side of the world, all this stuff. It's fascinating. Isn't it crazy? But
it's just absolutely crazy.
I feel like I'm the same woman that I was 30 years ago.
But the thing is as well, Theresa, I think, like, obviously with the technology we have as well, it's like it's a smaller world as well.
100%. I feel like I'm round the corner. You know, I really do. I'm round the corner and engaging. I'm kind of going, you're my mate, and I'll come and see you and give you a hug when I meet you when I'm in the UK. But that's kind of it. And some people have that feeling and some people don't. You know, it doesn't faze me at all. So yeah, I'll see you on the other side. You know.
But you know, this is absolutely fun, just chatting away here. It's just, you know, just tell me your story here, which is absolutely fantastic.
I want to hear more about your story, because your voice is gorgeous. As I said, you know, I will just share. It wasn't like a sort of like a silly, you know, light line to say I love a Scottish accent. I used to agonize, you know, when I was learning about the art of singing pop songs and sounds and creating and I'm a perfectionist from the ballet world, you know, so I'm very, very into dissecting the minutiae of everything. And I would agonize with the decision. If I had to choose an accent that I was born with, would it be Irish or Scottish? And I literally used to dissect all the vocalists who are either Irish or Scottish and listen to the vowel sounds to work out what I thought I would really choose. It took me a couple of years. Serious, I'm not teasing you with this. And in the end, I thought, I want to be a Scot. If I could be
seriously
again, I would have a Scottish, because the vowel sounds are so incredible. It's the accent, it's how you speak, and I'm all about that the fine lines, and Scottish accent to me, I love it.
Well, it's fun.
Well, it's funny. Scotland.
Oh, thanks. Wow. But it's like, you know, you get your different accents. Obviously, I mean, I'm an Edinburgh man, so you know, you've got Edinburgh and Glasgow. They've got two different accents there, you know, and it's a bit like if you were comparing like a Mancunian to a Brummie, you know, it's like there's different types of accent. It's like, you know, it's like, I mean, I'm from Edinburgh. I'm from the same city as Sean Connery. So we've got more or less the same accent, you know, and you know, I loved Sean Connery, you know, just watching him act, and it was just, you know, he's one of my favorites, you know, just watching his films. But but you know, it's just, I don't know, in Edinburgh, a lot of people compare Edinburgh accents to, you know, like, so if you get some posh parts of Edinburgh, you get like Morningside and places like that, where some people kind of talk like this, you know, hello, I'm from Morningside, you know, this is where I'm from Morningside. A lot of people compare Morningside to like kind of like English some English people.
Like Chelsea. It's
Yeah,
like Morningside is like the Chelsea part
yeah,
of Edinburgh.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course. But you know, I mean, but it's like you get posh parts of Glasgow as well, and you know, but there's a distinct accent difference between Edinburgh and Glasgow. It's just like the different English dialects and
Oh,
stuff.
there is. And I remember going to Dundee. Well, in Guys and Dolls, we went to Aberdeen, you know,
Yeah.
when the oil was sort of found, and we went and did a show up there,
Mhm.
so far north. And I remember actually we were in a club after the show, and of course, I think Julie Forsyth and David Van Day as well, they were underage. This bar, and I'm thinking, we're so young and there's so much money, there's champagne pouring everywhere. But yeah, but Dundee, I remember this incredibly lilting, very musical accent in Dundee. Really, it was so nice. Yeah, I love accents. I'm hopeless at them. I could never act with an accent. I would just be pathetic, you know. I wouldn't know how to do that. But yeah, a
Yeah,
Scottish accent. So we were in Scotland, you know, in our promotion periods, which were often fast and furious. We would be there all the time. It was always a pleasure. It was a
fantastic.
pleasure.
Well, if you're ever in Edinburgh, you know, don't be a stranger. Just give me a shout, you know,
Well, are
for
you going
coffee
to
or
come to
lunch.
see us our show in Glasgow? It's not very far away, is it? It's just
It's
across a
just
bit.
yeah, I'll come
Are you
across.
going to come to the show?
Absolutely, yes, I'll come.
We're playing Oran Moor. Did I pronounce that correctly? Oran Moor? Is
Oranmore,
that
I've
right?
been I've been to Oranmore. It's just like a little church venue,
Yeah, that's where the show
and
is.
you go
It's
down the stairs. You go down the stairs to
yeah,
it, and
yeah. We're
and
picking so eclectic. Some are eclectic venues, some are older, some are more clubby. Just small and intimate, where everyone can be part of it. It's meant to be a glamorous pop party. That's the tour. Come and see us, see me. I'm performing
absolutely.
with a different singing guy, Stephen Fox, who I've performed with before. He is the most incredibly creative, professional, brilliant singer. We're
Mhm.
on the same page. He often says, "Did we talk about that last week?" I go, "No." And he goes, "But I thought that." I said, "Did you think it first or me?" It's kind of this synergistic relationship we've got going.
Mhm.
So yeah, so we're going to be in Glasgow. Please come, please
I
come.
will. I promise. I promise. I will be there.
Gather the crowd. Let them come with you.
Well,
That'd be
well, you know what? I mean, Oranmore, that's in the West End of Glasgow, and I mean, at times, I mean, I'm in Glasgow more really frequent. I'm quite frequent in
okay.
Glasgow, and I've got lots of friends through there as well who I go and see, especially like directors or actors and so forth.
Hmm.
You know, but yeah, I'll definitely come through and watch you sing away. So that'd be great. That's
Please
absolutely fantastic.
bang the drum and spread the word, and you can be my go-to person to say, you know what, Bobby, could you just maybe tell a few more people that we're there?
Absolutely not. I will. I will certainly do that
Thanks,
because
guy.
it's yeah. The thing is as well. I mean, it's like you know, you're just so popular, and you know, I know so many people. You know, we talk about great tunes and stuff, and obviously like you know ones which kind of stick out in mind, like Mirror Mirror and stuff like that. You know, and but obviously, I mean, you've even got some. I mean, you had a solo album out as well, didn't you?
Ah, yes. The best and the worst. That's often in life, isn't it? The
Yeah.
things that sort of like daggers in the heart, you know, that really, really pull at your heartstrings.
Hmm.
So it's interesting, I never wanted to be on my own.
Hmm.
Uh, I think, as a creative person, I always want to be part of a team.
Yeah.
I love synergy, and it kind of makes me feel much better. I
Hmm.
bounce off other people's ideas. That's how I work.
Hmm.
That's why I love being in a recording studio. You've
Hmm.
got the musicians, you've got the producer, engineer. I'll sit there quiet. I go, how about that? And they go, oh, that's a good idea. Or let's try that. You know, it's kind of so. When Dollar broke up in
Hmm.
1980, I think it was 1983, or very end of 1982, didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
And we were on the brink of making big steps inroads into the US market. And we've been talking to Foreigners manager Bud Prager, who's sadly no longer with us, but it was obviously a big deal. There was the #1 rock act in America. I thought, why would he be interested in a British pop act? But it was kind of very different. That was what was happening in the early 80s, this incredible sharing of music between the US and the UK. And David and I broke up in Japan, in Tokyo, and I actually didn't know what to do. I was sort of like bereft, and I sort of thought, I don't know what to do. And I phoned Bud, and he said, well, you're going to get on a plane, you're going to come to New York. And I went, why? He said, yep. And you're going to go via Hawaii. You're going to stay in this hotel for 2 nights. I'm booking it. You're going to go and decompress and relax. And then I'm going to meet with you in New York. And I went, okay. And it was so nice, someone telling me what to do. You know, as I said, very compliant, very polite. And I got to New York, and I went to see Bud. He said, well, I'm going to manage you, and you're going to be a solo artist and have a big album. I went, okay. You know, and that's what happened. And the Big Kiss was the best and the worst, as I said. I'd always, I wrote Love's Got a Hold of Me, which is a massive UK hit. And always from the heart, always authentic, you know. Well, obviously, if you're going to be a writer, as you would, or an actor, or a performer, you have to be authentic. Yeah. But big commitment to co-writing your whole first solo album. And my publisher, which was Johnny Sterling at Warner Music, he got the best writers in the country to decide to agree to work with me, little me, and work with the creme de la creme. It was just an extraordinary learning curve again. I was like a student working with these incredible people like Phil Pickett, who wrote Karma Chameleon for Culture Club, Terry Britton, who wrote What's Love Got to Do with It, Billy Livesey, 5-star, Simon Darlow, who wrote Love's Got a Hold, Give Me Back My Heart, and Videotech. I mean, you've got these best writers, and I'm the novice, and it was so good. And Arif Mardin, you know, as the producer, just Aretha Franklin, Chaka Khan, Scritti Politti, the Bee Gees. I mean, and I was so humbled and so scared for the whole time, but I was very proud of the album. And then just when they're saying, well, we've got 5 top 10 hits here, which one will we go with first? The whole thing imploded. The record companies, the US MD got the sack, and everything fell apart. I mean, literally everything fell apart. All the plans. It was 2.5 years, and it all fell apart. And you kind of go, what do you do when that happens? I mean, we're all human.
That's sad, eh? That's really sad, you know. And it must have been a blow for you as well for something like that to happen, you know. Especially you'd be excited about everything, and then, you know, and then it just goes to nothing. It's just sad.
I think it was, and also the fact that I was so proud of the songs. You know, it's my first venture into really saying I'm committed songwriter now, because I actually thought then, you can songwrite when you're 80. No one cares what you look like. No one wants to know what, you know, your favorite lipstick is. They just want to hear the song you've written. And I was thinking, wouldn't that be a fantastic way to live your life? To be a creative, but no one's judging you on your appearance. And so I think that was the most heartbreaking part of it, that no one got to hear those incredible songs that were that you know, that and I still, to this day, I didn't listen to it for more than 15 years, that album. I just couldn't. I was so heartbroken.
That's sad, eh? Sad. But when you're doing your tour, I mean, you're going to be singing some of those songs?
Yeah, a couple. There's a lot of songs to sing, and we've only got the show is going to be so long. Even now I'm thinking, how am I going to be jumping around in some heels for all that time? So I'm in training mode. But yes, I will be singing some songs from The Big Kiss, of course, because that's part of me. But yes, as I said, as a 68-year-old, I have to be sensible, but not really. I mean, kind of
Listen,
we just do what we do.
absolutely. You know what? And the thing is as well, it's like life's too short, Theresa, and it's like just go out there, just have a great time. Have a great time and just do what you love doing, and just use all that energy and just show what you can do, which you're amazing. You're fantastic. Honestly, I think you're fantastic. I think you're fantastic.
Oh, thank you, my darling. So, it's even interesting about what I wear on the show. What
Mhm.
do people, it's kind of, well, let me ask you a question.
Right.
Do you, it's part when you're a creative and,
Mhm.
and you're in your field as an actor or
Mhm.
a singer or something,
Yeah.
it's almost like you want to be authentic, but you
Mhm.
want to give the customer what they want.
Mhm.
You want to satisfy the audience, don't you? But
Yeah.
with authenticity. It's a hard call, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, it's a hard call. But the thing is, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be singing and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it kind of depends on, I don't know, what type of audience you're kind of targeting as well, in a way. It's like, if you're
Yes.
targeting,
So this
you
is
know,
nostalgia, and people
yeah.
who have the love from, you know, who is the girl, my first girlfriend when I heard that record, my first
Mhm.
kiss, or who did I
Mhm.
propose to when I heard that record, or
Mhm.
my first baby was born, or big
Mhm.
moments. Often we couple that with music, don't we?
Yeah, of course. There's
Or
always,
film,
there's
or
always a,
film.
yeah, there's always a song which kind of you think to yourself, I remember listening to that song on holiday, maybe in Greece or Spain or somewhere like that. And maybe they just kept on playing it and playing it. And if you watch it on YouTube, like it just reminds you of the time you were on holiday on the
Yeah,
jukebox where it was getting played non-stop, and so forth. It brings
yeah.
back memories. A particular song can bring back memories.
I agree. Actually, you just reminded me that with Love's Got a Hold of Me, which was the first song that, well, not the first ones in Guys and Dolls, yes, but the first Dollar song.
Mhm.
And because I was so in love with Bee Gees and their sound, that's kind of inspired me. And it was a beautiful, hot summer in
Mhm.
in the UK in 1979.
Mhm.
But I remember getting, obviously snail mail in those days,
Mhm.
um, a letter from a fan saying thank you so much for recording. Could I have a signed photo? But thank you so much for recording this because I proposed to my girlfriend listening to this record when we went out one night, and I kind of thought, if I could do that for someone in their life, it's enough.
Mhm.
Very naive again, but it's enough.
There you go. There you
It
go.
changed someone's life to make them propose to their girlfriend. So good. So I think the show is all about that nostalgia and also looking back, but also looking forwards. So everyone's got to be sparkly and put their glad rags on. I don't want
Absolutely.
any sour pussies or anything. You've got to get up, get dancing, you know,
Exactly.
put your glad rags on, big
Exactly.
hair, 80s if you want to do that. That's what it's all about.
Oh, the 80s. I just honestly, those were good times. Those were fantastic times.
They
I
were.
mean,
It
I
was the
mean,
hate. It was the golden years. I mean, seriously.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of my heroes, well, he's my hero. I mean, Freddie Mercury was my hero. I loved Freddie.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, up on my wall there, you'll probably see it's a signed,
Yeah.
it was a signed Queen thing. It's got Freddie's
Wow.
signature, and I've got the certificate of authentication next to it, and Brian May and all the Queen group and that, and I would have loved to have seen Freddie back in the day as well. But did you never ever meet Queen or Freddie Mercury?
I met Freddie Mercury once. It's kind of a very weird story, but happy to share. Invited to go for dinner one night when
Mhm.
David and we were in London,
Yeah.
and we went to this dinner, and we went downstairs to this very posh restaurant, and I was always kind of didn't do that very much. I mean, didn't go out very much, really. I was go out if it's like the PR stuff, you know, you've got to be at Stringfellows or Tramp or Bootleggers, you know, to get a photo. But to go out for dinner actually with very legendary sort of celeb pop people, I wouldn't do. And we went there and we went down to this restaurant, and it was Elton John's manager, John Reid, and Freddie Mercury was there. And I was so overwhelmed. I kind of thought, wow, you know, and I sort of sat there very quiet, and David and I were there together.
Yeah.
Oh, we started the evening quietly, and I'm thinking, well, I'm the only lady here, you know, I was just very sedate or whatever. And as it went on, with a lot of nice champagne consumed, things went on, and Eric Hall was there, because Eric Hall was the one who convened this evening. So he knew John Reid very well, and all of them. And he's sadly no longer with us either. But it became the most extraordinarily funny night. And everyone was doing impersonations, and David Van Day's impersonations were fantastic. And everyone was on the floor laughing. And I'm thinking, this is really quite lovely. But you saw people in a different light, because they were just relaxing, you know, just being themselves. And it's the only time I ever met Freddie Mercury. And I was just, we were robbed of an incredible talent, just as I was robbed of my soulmate, Billy Lyle from Pilot. Scott, you know, that was my best friend and my soulmate, and he died from AIDS at the age of 36, you know. And I'm thinking, you really understand what happened in that era. You know, it was a celebration and a tragedy. I mean, it's like Shakespeare, isn't it? Basically, it's
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's like all the, not that you would wish anything like that on people, but it's like a lot of really good people as well, a lot of nice people that are
exactly.
You know.
But that was a moment in time that night, and I was so, you know, being the only female, and I'm quite little, and I was sitting there being very polite, thinking, my mum said, you know, I've got to be polite and just sit there and smile nicely. I'm going, just relax a bit, you know. And like 2 glasses later, you're sort of going, this is kind of fun. Then and you know, it's kind of, it's a very interesting thing. But I think in the 80s, it was also about, there was a lot of juggling for who was, you know, in Top of the Pops. You know, you'd wander down the corridors, and some people were lovely and say hi. Some people, you know, there are competitors. It was new, it's a whole new world, wasn't it?
You know, that's the thing. And, you know, but I mean, when you must look at your time on Top of the Pops now, you must have great memories from being on it.
Great memories of Top of the Pops. I think, to be very honest with you, I'm sorry to burst the bubble. I was terrified for the most part, very stressed, and just wanted to see what it looked like when it came out the next night. It was such a pressure. I mean, that was the pinnacle of, you've made it, you're on Top of the Pops. And it was so scary. I was so scared all the time. And you try and not be scared and be professional. I was scared. I was scared.
Must have been some experience.
Yeah, it was an experience. But then you meet some nice people, you know, in the hallways, because it always in the dressing room. It's just like a blank white space, a box. And then you venture out to go to your rehearsal, and you might see some people along the way, you know, and then you go, hello. And Susie in the Banshees, she was fantastic. Like in the early days, like with all this makeup and the stuff, and I'm going, and I thought, oh, you know, and she goes, hello, how are you? And I went, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? She said, have a good one. I'm going, that's so nice, you know, any little mention, because I was just very timid.
Fantastic. You know, that's, oh my God, honestly, just great from what you're telling me. There's absolutely fantastic, especially about Freddie and stuff. And You know, just, I mean, they're only human, you know,
Exactly.
and, you know, just normal people as well, you know. But another question I was going to ask you one last question, Theresa.
Yes, my darling.
And the thing is, right, from what you've experienced now in the music business and so forth, what advice would you give to, say, like maybe a 10-year-old Theresa Bazar? What advice would you give to yourself if you're like a young, you know, like, so if you were to give advice to yourself, you know, as a child, what advice would that be?
My advice would be to anyone who has a dream, don't get sucked in to all the social media. Don't compare yourself to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Try and split yourself in two, which is what I did. Be the authentic, real you, and understand what you think your talent is and your drive and your desire to pursue this path. And then be aware of what's going on out there, but don't let it ever drag you down. And I believe my mantra as a very young person was, when I looked at Judy Garland on the television when I was quite chubby and had dark hair and wore glasses. I was about 9 or 10 years old. And seriously, and I would look at the television and I would go, she was probably a young girl like me, and she didn't look like that then. It's my like rational sort of thinking, but she's there doing that, so doesn't that mean it's possible? So I would say anything is possible. If you wish it, you believe it, it can become the truth.
It's absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on. And the thing is, you know, it's everyone's got a story to tell as well. You know, it's like as they get older and just experiences, you know, it's like, oh, they're good experiences or bad experiences, you know, no matter what you do in life, really, you know, whether you're a singer, an actor, if you're 9 to 5 person, you know, it's everyone's a book, you know, and everyone's got a story to tell, you know, and we all make decisions, we all make bad decisions, we all make good decisions, you know, that's life, isn't it? It's like the path that you go on, you know, it's a decision that you make to go on that path and where you end up and so forth. But I tell you what, Theresa, it's been an absolute pleasure. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Oh, it's not the end. We could go on for hours. We
I
could do a
know,
whole series.
I know we could. I know we could. Honestly, I don't know why I was so nervous before actually chatting to you. But
No, we have
honestly,
so much to talk about. And you know what? It's all about, it actually is, you know, ageism is an interesting thing. But
you know,
no one's story is ever finished. There's no finite date. You know, you don't get a gold watch when you're 55 and go, your life's over, mate.
exactly.
You know, that's not it anymore. You can do whatever you want to do at any age and be discovered or unleash the beast. You can do whatever you want. And that's such an important message, because people, the young person inside us, doesn't matter what the outer packaging looks like, wrinkles, changing, losing hair, getting gray, it doesn't matter. But the internal person, we're still the same.
Exactly.
But with better ammunition, because we've got maturity and we don't care anymore what people, we've got ammo. So that's good.
And we've got wisdom as well, Theresa. That's the thing, you know, and, you know, but I tell you, honestly, I'm just overwhelmed just by chatting to you. And honestly, it's been fantastic. But we'll get another catch up sometime.
Well, let's please do. If you invite me, I'll be on. And
absolutely.
talk about you a bit more and your acting and stuff. That'd be nice.
Exactly. And I mean, I've got lots of stuff as well I could send you and just show you what I've did.
Love to look at that. Love to, because that's part of making new friends, and who knows? I mean, that's just the fabulous part of life, isn't it? We walk the walk, and we never know we're going to come across a stranger who becomes a friend.
Exactly. And it's just been so lovely chatting to you. Absolutely. And and your son as well. I want to say thank him as well, because he's you know
He's a
what
good guy. I brought him up proper. He's a good guy.
but absolutely, honestly, and just for it to go in the trouble of from your end as well to mine, it's just
No, of
sometimes
course
it
not.
can be, you get your gremlins in the system and stuff.
No, exactly. But also I need some help from you if you've got any suggestions.
Hmm.
Need to bang the drum loud.
Right.
If you know of any of the Scottish radio stations or anything, I've got a sort of a reputable PR in London that's
Hmm.
just starting, but they're lazy.
Hmm.
Everyone's lazy. They'll go for the big ones. I'm all for doing 50 little ones, all amalgamates into a bigger spread. That's me, be
Right.
authentic. So if you've got any ideas who I could speak to on radio, who'd want to do a podcast, something to promote Oran Moor that might be
Hmm.
helpful locally, I'd so appreciate it.
Absolutely. And consider it done. I will get on it
Thanks, my
for you.
darling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And are you gonna? Am I gonna? And you tell me how many tickets you want for Oran Moor, and I will make them yours. And I
Mhm.
want to see you, meet you, and have a hug, and hopefully we'll do something before that show anyway.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to. I'm sorry that I'm
Abs
being pushy, but I'd love to.
Absolutely. You know what? It'd be an absolute honor. It'd be an honor,
Cool.
Theresa, an absolute honor.
All right, my
But
darling.
yeah, but I mean, after this is done, I'll get the ball rolling. And Theresa, thank you so much for coming
Pleasure.
on to the podcast. And it's just
We're friends now. I'm building a
absolutely,
you're part of my tradition. That's a good thing.
absolutely. And it's just such an honor to have spoken to you. And
Love the voice.
you're
Oh, I love
such
it.
a you're such a
Love it.
lovely lady. And thank your son for me as well.
I will, but thank you for reaching out. And it's just, I'm so happy. I mean,
It's
you've made my night. I'm very happy, and hopefully I made your day. But
You
we will be
definitely
in
have.
touch. And
Absolutely.
you're part of the team now, so I'm not going to let you get away. So you're part of our team. If you're
Excellent.
Team Bobby, that's good. That's cool.
Absolutely, Theresa. And yeah, and I will get that banging that drum as well. So
Fabo, darling. Okay,
okay.
so nice. And let me know when it's going to go out. And then obviously we'll spread all the social stuff and
Will
everything.
do.
Al does all of that. He's very good at that.
Well,
He
it'll be
goes,
going.
Mum,
Well, the
please
jail.
don't do. Yeah, I'll tell you something funny. He goes,
Okay.
Mum, please don't tweet tonight because you make two mistakes and I can't stand it. Gets anxiety because, but it's a fabulous thing being part of a family operation too. It's kind of nice.
Absolutely. And it's just nice, especially meeting part of your family as well. And it's just
Yeah.
such it's just been great. This has been fantastic.
Are you happy? You look happy. I'm glad that you're happy. If I could make you happy, that's a big thing.
Of course it is.
All
And
right. So
it's just
let's
such an
not be
honor.
strangers.
Absolutely. Definitely. But
All right, my
listen,
darling. Anything you need.
I will do. And listen, we'll speak again soon.
Sure. And
Okay.
if you want any promo stuff for if that's what you do, social media and things, we can send you a poster or an image or whatever you want. So just reach out. Don't feel shy.
Will do. Will do, Theresa.
We're
Listen,
friends now.
absolutely. Absolutely. We are definitely friends. So listen, you have a lovely day.
Yeah, you have a
Whatever
lovely
you're
day
doing.
too, my darling. So lovely to
And
speak to you. Thank you
it's
very much.
lovely to chat to you as well. And well, hopefully we'll get on for tomorrow, the chat.
Absolutely cool. Is it tomorrow so we can post it? Can we
Yep.
yeah?
I'm going to be, what I'll be doing is I'll be editing it and that
Okay.
after this. So once it's all been edited, and then what I'll do is I'll let you know, and then it'll be on the YouTube channel. And then what I'll be doing is I'll cut it down to like a little trailer, and you could just send me little pictures from from when you were singing and stuff, and even
Okay,
up to
some
date
pics,
ones.
okay, because I'll have to write things down, otherwise I forget. And Al goes, Mum, you need to write it down.
No
And
problem.
goes, do you have to use a piece of paper and a pen? I said, yes, I do. Okay, so some pics, I can do that. And then will you send us some kind of link?
I
Can you
will
send
do.
us so we can post it on socials?
Absolutely, and I'll do that for you as well.
I sound so on it. I'm not really. Keep that to yourself. Okay.
Absolutely not a problem, Theresa. Not a problem. Right, listen, I will let you go, and
All
we'll
right,
get
my darling.
the ball rolling. Okay.
Lovely to talk to you.
Lovely,
Wonderful. Thank you so
lovely
much.
to chat to you as well. Big kiss there.
Same to you. And I will see you in Glasgow, okay?
Absolutely.
That's a promise.
Look forward to it, Theresa.
All right, my darling. Take care.
Okay.
Speak soon, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Speak soon. Bye for now. Bye bye.